Mm. Ah, there it is. All right. Here in America, we got enough problems with racism without people who are doing the right thing. Oh, my connection is unstable. All right, we're back. I'm sorry about the unstable connection. Anyway, it was, I believe, policing the police, but I'm not for certain. It was started by a guy who had the best intentions, and he just couldn't keep it up. So he passed it on to somebody else who just a hateful person. So that person passed it off, and we're about 5 or 6 admins into that group, and it's a feller who shows him to be Asian. His first name is American, and his last name is Asian. But at the same time, his typing and the things that he types are, number one, they're very broken English. Not something that I would consider was written by somebody who grew up with American English as a first language, or even English as a first language. They're getting another unstable connection. Sorry about the unstable connections. Anyway, this person was posting up some very definite, very specifically with this goddamn connection. I'm sorry about that. Every time I try to make a point, I lose my goddamn connection. Fuck it. So I guess I should probably look some stuff up here. Such a fucking screwed up goddamn situation. Now, this guy took this picture. There's 6 people in the picture with firearms. 3 of them are black and 3 of them are white. And, well, they're standing side by side. There's a black man and a white man back behind them who are protecting the door. And there are 2 white men and 2 black men standing all in a row. 4 human beings at that point is what you have. It's no longer 2 black people and 2 white people. This is 4 human beings standing together, united. And this person in this police action group wanted to claim that these people were the KKK and they're there specifically with military style rifles to kill black people. Cut off half the picture. This person cut off the picture half that had black people in it who were also armed and obviously not getting shot by these supposed KKK. Now, this person who's typing in broken English is also typing other very hateful propaganda about that situation. We got real problems. We don't need 10,000 more people making up problems for us. Now, today, man, mind you, I've seen stuff like this all throughout all of this. People trying to very specifically start a race war, especially a lot of minorities being very hateful and trying to divide them through warfare because you can't get there. Well, the best thing to do to divide and conquer is to get everybody else at each other's throats. A lot of these people who hate all of us because of what our government has been doing for the last 30 plus years, well, yeah, they may not have access to missiles and airplanes to come over and bomb the shit out of us, but they got access to the internet. They got access to making up their own profiles, same as you do. Now, is that me saying that everything that is being posted out there as racism is coming from foreign nationals? No. A lot of this stuff is actually true. A lot of this racist crap is actually happening, just like this crap with CPS and what they're doing to children and the druggings. Those are actual things that actually happen to actual humans every day. The way that the homeless people are treated. And a lot of people say, Sean, you're racist. You must be racist because you're against Black Lives Matters. No, I'm not. I stand up for everything that they do and then some. Now, who's they? Since it's a whole bunch of different people, well, they outlined on many occasions what it is that they're after. They don't want these things happening to black people anymore. I get that. The reason that I am judging myself at this very moment to be a better human being than them or the people that are harming them is the fact that I don't want this happening to any of us. I'm not going to pretend that it's only happening to black people. I'm not going to pretend that Native Americans aren't getting screwed. I'm not going to pretend that homeless people aren't getting screwed. I'm not going to pretend that battered women aren't getting screwed. I'm not going to pretend that battered men aren't getting screwed. I'm not going to pretend that the police of many different colors, police officers of many different colors, and many of them from other countries serving on our police forces, are killing American citizens, not just black people. It's another word that starts with a B. It's called broke. Adolf Hitler rounded up all the broke people that he could and forced them into labor camps. Do you know why? Because they were broke. The upper echelon, well, they've got money, and they've got this, and they've got that. Most of the French hierarchy during World War II, while they're under occupation, were allowed to keep their stuff. I mean, these are people who have servants doing everything for them. That's how wealthy these people are. And these people are making our decisions for us, back then and today. They're controlling our opinions through propaganda. Like a lot of people thought that that was legit, that these are actual KKK members out there. Now, did Facebook ever do a Facebook check on them? No. But Facebook did a Facebook check on Donald Trump, found his stuff to be not acceptable and still put it up. Same thing with Twitter. Just goes to show the rights don't have anything to do with the goddamn Constitution. Not even a little bit. The Constitution is a fucking fart in the wind at this point. There is no American soldier today that is not a traitor. Do you know why? Because our Constitution is gone. The Constitution that they swore an oath to uphold. If it doesn't exist, you're not upholding shit. We don't need it upheld in Afghanistan or Colombia or Iraq or South Korea or North Korea. We need it here in the United States. Until we have the perfect utopian society, we have no place to tell other people how to think and feel and how to live. A lot of people say, yeah, well, we're just focusing on the blacks right now because if we focus on the rest of it, it takes away from that. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. These are our constitutional rights that these black people and white people and native people, we're all supposed to be entitled to that Constitution. Not just black people or just white people or just native people. If you want the Constitution back, you're going to have to fight for it. I've been trying to fight for it in a court of law, and you see that that's obviously not working. In the meantime, all of the money and the time and the resources that I spent trying to get an honest day in court, I could have easily gotten away with actually murdering at least 100 predators. I was close enough to many predators on my trips across the United States in the last 2 years. I was close enough to many predators that I could have killed them, and probably in many of those cases gotten away with it. I'm not into killing. I'm not okay with it. But I'm not going to pretend that all of my white friends and native friends who were also murdered by police, I'm not going to pretend that they didn't exist because we're only focusing on Black lives right now. You know, there are a lot of white people and a lot of native people who want to jump on that, who want to be helpful, who are trying to be helpful. There's also a lot more of them that absolutely would be as well. If it weren't for the fact that, yeah, we're not going to focus on the fact that this is a very large problem. We're going to pretend that it's just happening to Black people and that's what we're going to focus on. Fuck no. I am still going to speak out about the terrible things that are happening to Black people, but it's not just Black people. The number one victimized people in America are foster children and former foster children, most of whom are homeless when they turn 18. We live in a disgusting world, and people make all sorts of excuses for doing all sorts of terrible things to each other. But you know what? When it comes to shoot back, how many people, not just Black people, because if you look at the Black people, you're looking at a very small number. All right, we can take the state of Colorado, just the homeless people killed in the state of Colorado in the last year, and that outnumbers every single Black person in America who has been shot by police in the last 3. Now, one of the things that I want to show you now is more propaganda. My friend Mandy posted this up. She's been involved in missing and murdered Indigenous women for almost a year now. She's fought a lot of the same fights that I've fought, a lot of the same fights that Natalie fought. But this supposedly came from Black Lives Matter. I'm going to read it to you because it's complete bullshit. It says, Black Lives Matter. Attention, white men, women, and children, you are the enemy. And in many cases, I actually do see that to be true. However, this was not written by anyone from the BLM. This was written by someone who's trying to sow hatred. If we make it into a racial issue when it's a broke issue, then we've got people fighting the wrong way. We've got people using tactics that are entirely in the wrong direction. It's tough when you're going after a shiny knife in the left hand and he comes around with a shotgun from the right. It also says, we will not stop until there are more white homicides than Black. There already is, first of all. A lot more. Sorry to say. We will not stop until all white people are sent to re-education camps. We will not stop until white people pay extra taxes to support Black individuals. We will not stop until Black power runs all government. We will not allow any white person to date another race. We support no white-owned business. Hate is okay if directed at white families. It's already directed at white families. It's been directed at white families for many years, especially broke white families, especially ones so broke that they end up homeless and their kids end up in the system. Now, was this a Black Lives Matter thing? No, this is just some asshole who decided to print up some shit at fucking work or the post office or whatever. You can see the fucking corkboard behind it in the fucking picture. This is what racist fucking idiots post up and think that we're supposed to believe it. Unfortunately, I have an IQ of 172 and a built in bullshit detector, which most of you seem to be lacking. You join right in on the hatred. You join right in on the Muslim bashing. Or you pretend that these things aren't happening because they're not happening to you. I believe in equality. And most of the stuff that was written there, although likely written by a white racist, there's some of that stuff that actually makes sense. It actually does. And I'm going to explain that to you. You might be going, oh, Sean, that is way off the fucking deep end. How could you say that? Well, when it says you are the, it's okay. How many white people's connection unstable? How many white people have you heard make excuses why the police were justified in what they did and that it wasn't their fault, it was an accident? Black man who's running away. He's fucking scared of you for a reason. There's a reason that people are that fucking scared of the fucking police. And it's not because they're all criminals. When it says you are the enemy, you're looking away because it's not happening to you. But then when it does happen to you, yeah, I'm one of the first people that gets to hear about it, aren't I? Sean, I didn't know it was going to be like this. I told you it was going to be like this, and you made excuses. Now you're homeless, and you have to deal with it. Congratulations. When you were in a house, people would have listened to you. But now you're homeless, which means that you must be a lazy drug addict. And meanwhile, I don't even do drugs. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody will need educated. Oh, another disconnection. Sorry about that. It doesn't want to stay connected. It says we will camps. Actually, I think that everyone needs an education. We need an education, first of all, on what people have to live through on the reservation. Train. We need a lot more education than that. We need an education on the reasons the black people are forced into poverty to this day. Forced into it. Much like many white families and Hispanic families and Native families. That train is going slow as fuck. It says here, we will not stop until white people pay extra taxes to support black individuals. We already do. We already do. We already have special rights for black people that are not afforded to white people. And yes, white people pay taxes for that. And it does help to support black individuals. It also, well, that's not true. The government takes money for these programs that are supposed to help out the communities, especially the poor communities. But by the end of it, you've spent 6 months of your life and hundreds of dollars on fuel to get $50 worth of help at the end. A lot of that part right there, god damn, connection unstable. Hopefully we're back. Unstable connection again. I do agree wholeheartedly with paying extra taxes, with everyone paying extra taxes to force police to wear all points in time. In addition, have it so that that evidence cannot be erased, and so those officers, because of their position of power and because of how easy it is for them to abuse their power against, well, at-risk individuals. I don't believe that their crime is committed that you're allowed to file charges against those officers. A good majority of the tactics that were used to prevent me from filing charges against the officers who assaulted me, such as Waylon Lolatai, that I didn't have the money to travel to all of these places or feed myself, let alone add another. And these police officers repeatedly abused their power because they could, because of slander. Slander that I was never, to this day, allowed to defend myself against in a court of law. I've been separated from my loved ones for over 3 years over crimes that I didn't commit. And ultimately, with all of the crimes that I was charged with that I didn't commit, while having people actually doing those things to me, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just take the abuse because I'm not black? Because I must deserve it because of the color of my skin or because of my gender? Because of my age? Or because I don't believe in your bullshit religion? I've read the Quran, I've read the Torah, I've read the Bible. Y'all will turn anything into fucking hate. Anything other than standing up to those who victimize you. Our government victimizes us every single day. Black Lives Matter. If it wasn't just Black Lives Matter, there would be a lot more people on board with that, because those are all of our rights that they're fighting for. But it's the fact that they say black, very specifically black, that separates them from the rest of us. There are groups that are specifically dedicated to helping out black people who are completely fucked in these situations. But if you're a white male and there is a group to help you out because you don't have the special rights of all these other groups, you don't have those rights, but these other groups do. Black people have these protections. Hispanic people have these protections. And are those protections observed? No, they're fucking not. No matter how much you try to get the law changed, the fact is you're trying to get some stuff that is already illegal somehow magically made illegal again? No, we need fucking enforcement, and police cannot be trusted to enforce the law, especially in cases of their own department. Now, some of the rest of this I just see as satire. I don't know how many times I have heard white people offended by the fact that a white man is with a fat white girl. And they always make the comment about her being fat. Why those black girls always go after the fucking fat and ugly ones? Jesus, dude. Do you have no fucking shame whatsoever? It says, we will not stop until black power runs all government. Now, I want you to stop and take a look at it from a black person's point of view, looking at our white government. It is mostly white. Most of the police are white. Most of the judges are white. Most of the congressmen and senators are white. The president's a fucking white guy, and he's a racist at that. And then he wants to offer to kill black people or have the National Guard kill black people for breaking things in the name of George Floyd. That's how he started that off, is in George Floyd's fucking memory. And a lot of people are like, why are black people doing this over one person? It's not just one person. It's not just one black person. It's not even hundreds of black people. It is thousands of human beings annually murdered by the police. Likely closer to tens of thousands. And depending on what you consider murder, if you consider murder by exposure, murder, we're looking at easily hundreds of thousands. Because there are a lot of other illegal, immoral laws, like the laws that have us freezing to death. And it says, we will not stop until black power runs all government. Well, looking at it from their point of view, you notice it's mostly white people in government. Just like I have to say about being broke, these people don't have any connection to broke people whatsoever. No understanding whatsoever beyond trying to get votes. And a poor person's vote doesn't matter as much because they're trying to make all of us felons. Anyone who is their slave, they don't want having the power to access the First or Second Amendment. Yeah, they don't know shit about being broke, and obviously, they're not going to know shit about what it's like to be black. Kind of like somebody in a wheelchair. If you're not in a wheelchair, you don't know what it's like for somebody in a fucking wheelchair. It says, we will not allow any white person to date another race. See, that's one of the other things I was talking about. Do I agree with that? No, absolutely not. But I don't agree with it when white people say it either, do I? Now, this is probably from a white person, probably from a hate group like the Aryan Brotherhood or the KKK. Let's see. We support no white-owned business. Well, isn't that the way that we treat them? Asking for equality is not a bad thing. If this was from Black Lives Matters, there's parts of that I could completely understand. If you're going to be that way towards a particular group of people, but then you want to complain when they treat you back that very same way, there's something wrong with your head, not theirs. If you want to treat black people like this and then complain how terrible people they are, complain how terrible people they are when they treat you back that way, and not even in as horrible a fashion, instead of shooting all of those fucking cops in the head and down their police station, I'd say that was the kindest thing that they could have done in that situation. When people are actually being fucking killed and you want to bitch about rioting, you're the asshole. And you're a fucking traitor at that. And then it says, hate is okay if directed at white families. That's more satire. I mean, we've seen how hatred is okay towards black people, how it is okay towards the homeless people, how it is okay towards the native people. And then we hear all these excuses as well, and Jewish people too. We get to hear about how all Native Americans are alcoholics. We get to hear about how all Jews want is your money for free. We get to hear about how Mexicans steal everything and how black men are all rapists and murderers. Is any of that shit true? Fuck no. We got Donald Trump, the president of the United States, the guy who is in control of the nation that has the largest arsenal on the planet of everything, We have the largest arsenal on the planet, almost 5 times over to any of our competitors. So we got this guy who's claiming that Mexicans are coming across the border to rape white people. That's not racially pointed. That's not the same racist bullshit as this right here. Y'all don't care what it is that people do, that you care about who it is that's doing it. Now, it took me off of that thing, so I'm going to have to search for that picture. I don't know why it did that. I'll try it again. I know that I took a screenshot of it too, so here it is. You go spreading racial hatred and say that you're trying to do something about hatred over race. It don't work that way. I've been fighting with fire for about 3 years because I tried doing it the right way. And every time I tried to do it the right way, I was victimized for it. That is why I support rioting. That's why I support peaceful protesting. I'm fine with both at this point. It's too bad we can't just take all of them congressmen, write T on their forehead, and throw them in Boston Harbor, let them swim back home. Too bad we can't do that with all the congressmen, all the senators, and the president himself. But I don't think our orange orangutan friggin' president would probably survive a 30 fucking stroke to shore. I don't. And if you're gonna do that to people to prove a point, you need to drop them off further off than that because you really need to prove the point. You're fucking killing people with your bullshit. The police are killing people doing what it is that you tell them to. Donald Trump saying that the cops don't have to put their hand on your head when they're letting you into the vehicle. You get to see how immediately after Donald Trump became president, police brutality intensified exponentially. There is a lot more with Donald Trump as president. And I tell you what, yes, I am willing to take a bullet for black people or for native people. If you want to make this a race war, yeah, I'll take a bullet from both sides. I don't want to be here because you people are assholes. I don't mean you people black people or you people white people or you people native people. I mean you people. People. Have a Merry fucking Christmas.